friends. In today's episode, episode number 8, we will be covering the production order execution cycle in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. So, if you're watching this series of production control right from the beginning, we have already completed all the configurations which are actually required to perform the production order in Dynamics 365. And I also want to tell you one more setup which actually missed, I would say, because in case of posting accounts, this primarily you need to do it along with your finance team. So under inventory setup and posting, you need to configure the appropriate posting accounts for the production. So I have configured the posting accounts for the production so that the same will be utilized when we post the um, RM road code and also the FG items. So the appropriate cost will be posted in the respective accounts, right? So let's get back to our production order. So, as far as today's topic is concerned, we are in episode number 8, and you are if you are watching this series right from the beginning, my name is Sriram Sivashankaran, and I have been posting articles, documents, and videos later to Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O. If you want to get regular updates, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel, Sriram Sivashankaran D365 Talks. So like I said, we have already covered episode until episode 7. We have covered all the key configurations which are actually required. Now we are in episode number 8, where we are going to look into the complete cycle of production order execution. So the production order cycle starts off from creation. So we are going to manually create the production order. We are not going to use the master planning engine to create a planned production order. So we will manually create a production order. We will estimate it. We will release it. And also when we start, we will try to automatically post the picking list and root cause journals. And also we will post a RAF so that the FG is physically updated in the inventory. And also we should be able to end the production order. So let's see how, because if all the configurations whatever we have done so far is fine, then we should be able to complete the cycle what what we are showing right now. Let me get into the system. So production control module, under production order, click on all production order. So create a new production order manually. All you need to do is just click on new production order, and new batch order is used for process manufacturing. So as you know, in this series we are primarily trying to cover the discrete manufacturing processes. So let me click on new production order. So let me enter the item number. The item number is shirt. So this is the item number which we have configured, and the system will ask me for the site. The moment when I enter the site, the BOM number and the route number will be picked automatically based on the latest approved and activated versions which are available against the BOM and the route in that particular site ID for this item. So let me select the site number 2, for which we have the approved and activated BOM and root versions. So once I click on 2, system throws a prompt saying insert the active version of our bill of materials and root. So I'll click on yes. So it has inserted the BOM and root versions. So how much quantity I want to produce, let me say I just want to produce 10 quantity of shirt. And if you want to make any changes to this setups, you can do it, but as of now I just don't want to make any changes to this setup. And let me click on create. So this will create a production order in the system. So this has created a production order in the system. So this is the production order number 220. Let us create this production order in the warehouse. So it can be for the specific warehouse. Let us try to create this production order in the warehouse number 21. Okay, so let me save this, and then I'll scroll up. Here also you can see in the update section, you can see the time and date when what activity is done when. So created, estimated, and scheduled, started, and report as finished. All these updates will be available with respect to quantity, how much quantity is estimated, how much quantity is started, how much quantity report as finished, and how much quantity is ended and when. So you can get the detail in this update section, right? So first let's get into production order section, where you can see here only the estimate is enabled. In the previous episode, we were discussing about resetting the status combinations, right? So if I get into the production order, production control parameter, production control parameters, um, so we have a section called status. So in this section we have the option to reset the status. So if you can see here, once the production order is created, it has to be estimated, and then operation schedule or job schedule can be done, but you cannot perform release, start, report as finished or ended. So all these are disabled. So that's the reason you can see only the estimate is enabled, and release, start, report as finished, and end, all these are disabled. So generally, once the production order is created, you need to make sure that it is estimated. So that's the reason we have disabled the all other options. So only when we do the estimation, we will know what is the estimated cost and estimated raw material consumption for that particular production order. So let's try to estimate this production order. So the profit setting is standard. If you are not sure what is this profit setting, probably we will discuss on this profit setting in the next episode regarding the costing for production. I will not discuss about this right now, because based on this the profit calculation happens. So let me simply click on OK. So once I hit the OK button, the status of the production order is actually changed to estimated. The remaining status is material consumption, which is supposed to be the next status for this production order. So now let me go to manage cost. Now in the production order, you can see all the statuses are enabled. Now if I want to reset the status, I can also reset the status and can take it back to created state itself. So that is also possible. So now let me go to manage cost, and then under calculation section, you have the option to view the calculation details. So let me click on calculation details. So this is the estimate which system gives us for the items. These are the three items which we have, which is the fabric, thread, and button. For these items, the consumption is going to be 1 meter of fabric, 2 meter of thread, and 6 buttons, which is going to be the per unit, because these are basically for per unit. And if you go to overview costing, I think it will show you for the entire 10 quantity. So it is multiplied by 10, it is showing us for the 10 quantity. So in the overview estimation, it is showing as for the per unit. So this is the per unit bomb. It basically picks the consumption from the bomb, and this is the hours which we have mentioned, the route. So and this is the cost. I will not discuss in detail about the how this cost is picked, what is a cost category where we have tagged, and how the cost is picked for the RM item. This is actually picked based on the calculation group. So we will discuss about this in the next episode, and the costing technique. Okay, so it has picked the profit percentage, and it is just showing us the estimate. Okay, say, hey, if you produce this item, your estimated cost is going to be this, the estimated sales price is going to be this. And if you go to overview costing, you will get a estimated consumption, and you will also get an estimate of the cost amount. So this is the amount, this is the quantity which is going to be produced. 10 quantity will be produced, and 10 quantity of fabric, and 20, this is the amount of inventory which is going to be consumed, and this is the amount of hours which is actually required in order to perform this operation. So you get a rough idea. As a production manager, you will be able to know how much of consumption is going to happen by doing this particular production. So after estimating it, I should be able to release it. So when we do the release process, it is actually getting released to the production floor for processing the production order. So I'll click on release. So and also here, if you want, you can default the values. If you want to print the route or this thing, you can do it. You can click on default values, and you can keep it as enabled if you want, and then always this will be enabled over here. Use the default values option over here. So here I am not going to do anything, so I'll just simply click on OK button. So I'm just want to release this production order for processing. So you can see the status is changed to released, right? So after releasing, I need to start the production. Let's say I am the person who is actually going to perform this stitching of this shirt. I need to perform the cutting, sewing, and then packing of operations. So I'm going to do it physically in my production shop floor. So I'm going to start the production. I'm going to start the production for, let's say, 5 quantity is the one for which I'm going to perform this activity. So in the general section, the important point here is, you can see these are the setups which we were seeing in the production control parameter. Automatic root consumption, is it going to be root group dependent? I'm going to keep it as always. So moment I post, click on OK button, I want to post the route code, and the consumption also should happen. Similarly for bomb is pertaining to the components or the material, the raw materials, right? do you want to use the flushing principle in order to consume the raw material, or you want to consume it always? So once I start the production, I want the raw material to be consumed also. So, and also I just enable post picking list now. So if you want, you can disable this and you can post the picking list manually. I will also show you how to do that, and you can also disable post record now, and you can click the OK button. But I'm just trying to post the picking list and the record simultaneously when I start the production order, so that the material is consumed and the operation is also completed, right? So let me hit the OK button. But if you want to keep these values as default, make sure that in the default values you enable the appropriate toggles, and then select the values and then hit the OK button, so that whenever you are coming to the general section, you always find the default values whatever you have configured in the under the default value section, right? So let me click the OK button. Let's see whether the system is starting the production. um, yes, great. So the production order is started. um, so the production order is started. So now what we are going to do is, so we'll go to view section, and if I go to picking list and under journals, you can see a picking list is posted with 3 lines. It is actually posted. So let me click the journal line, journal id. So you can see it has exactly picked the raw materials which are actually required for performing this operation. So the if we look at the inventory dimensions, it has picked from the default values, because site, warehouse, and location are the storage dimensions which were enabled, and the inventory model was FIFO. So that's the reason it has picked the material and consumption of 5, 10, and 30 quantity, because this is actually picked the consumption for the 5 quantity. It has actually 5 quantity of shirt. If it has not picked the values for 10 quantity, because we started off this production for 5 quantity and not for 10 quantity. So let me go back. And even if you would have disabled the post picking list now, then in that case you need to come to this picking list journal page, and you need to validate and post it manually. Even that is also possible, because in sometimes you don't want to post it when you start the production. If you want to manually post it, you can use the flushing principle concept. In that case, where you need to keep the manual posting of consumptions, and then post the picking list. Also, if we look at the route code also, this has been posted successfully with 3 lines, because we have 3 operations. Sorry, I just clicked on route number. So journal, so we have 3 operations with machine cm1, and cm1. So these are the resources machines which are actually used. So if I look at this, actually you can see that it has taken the hours which is actually required for completing the operation for 5 units of shirts. I remember we have kept it for point 0.5 and point 0.5, and so that's the reason it has picked it for 2.5. And here also it was 0.25, so that's the reason for completing the entire operation it has taken the appropriate hours. So now you can see that we have actually completed this operation cutting, and the second one should be sewing. Yeah, this is the sewing operation, and the third one should be the packing. So the packing operations, all these operations are completed. So after completing this operations on shop floor, we can post the route code journal manually, or you can post it automatically like what we did right now. So now the route code is also successfully posted. So after posting the picking list and route code, now we need to update the inventory physically in our warehouse. So let's say, let me select this item number. I just want to show you the on page. Inventory management on list. Starts with FG in warehouse 21. Apply. So currently this was actually the production order which I posted earlier to check the configurations. So now I can see the ordered in total is 11. um, Let me enable the dimensions. Site, warehouse, locations. So it is actually in warehouse 21, so still it will show me the same value, but the ordered in total is actually 11. Let me check the transactions. So you can see against our production order 220, a transaction line is created, but we don't have the material of 5 quantity in the on screen, because until unless the RAF is posted, we will not have the quantity updated in the system. So currently we have only 2 quantity as a finished good in the system, right? So let us go back, let us try to post the RAF. So report as finished is basically a journal which need to be posted. So first we'll go to production order, the process, and the process we need to click on report as finished. So let's say for a good quantity of 5 I want to post, but I just don't want to end this production order. So make sure that you disable the end job, and here also you can configure the default values. And if you want to accept error, if there are some errors which you want to accept and proceed, you can enable this. But as of now I'm not enabling it. I just want to see if there are any errors which are coming up, because if you have not configured your ledger posting accounts, then you will get appropriate errors for your RM and then the finished goods. So you need to make sure that, like I said in the beginning, just configure your posting accounts, which are very very important in order to complete the RAF. So let me click the OK button, but let me recheck it again that we are posting the good quantity for 5. That's fine. So just confirming that I have manufactured the 5 quantities of shirt. Great, the ROF is posted now. Right, so let's go back to the on-hand screen and then let me refresh this page. So now you can see the physical inventory is now updated to 7. So 5 quantity of raw material, sorry, 5 quantity of this FG shirt is actually produced. Now if I go to the transactions, you can see here that 5 quantity of FG item is actually produced. Even in the slide, I have mentioned it clearly that once the RAF is posted, FG is physically updated, but it is not financially updated. So that's the reason, if you can see here in the transactions, you have a physical date, but there is no financial date updated in the transaction. And you also see that the receipt status is received and not purchased. Until unless it is physically financially posted, you will not be able to consume the material or invoice this FG item in your sales orders. If you want to perform the invoice transaction or for subsequent financial transactions, the inventory has to be physically updated and also financially updated, because we have not enabled negative financial inventory in our item model group. That is also a reason. But I just don't want to complex this. But the thing is, it is we have actually physically updated the inventory, but financially this is not updated. When it gets updated, when we click on end, when we end the production order, then this inventory is financially updated also. So now let's try to end the production order. P00020, this is the production order. Let me click the OK button. And I don't have anything to check in the general section, because here it is just basically we are trying to post the report and finished, and then we'll quickly complete this production order. Great. So the production order is now ended, and the remaining status is also ended. So there is no other job which we need to do for this particular production order ID. Now let me go back to the transactions. I will hit the refresh button. So now this production order for 5 quantity is also completed, which is both physically updated and also financially updated. Right, so this is how you will be able to complete a complete production order cycle, starting off from created, estimate, release. And when you start the production order, you can either automatically consume the bomb or on the route, or you can manually create a picking list and post the picking list journal, and manually create a root code journal and post a root code journal. That is also possible. So make sure that you select the appropriate item from the inventory, or you can directly proceed for automatic consumption of raw material and route. So so that's it for today's video. In the next video episode regarding the production order costing, which is very very important, you need to understand about the, because in this episode to be honest, actually we have not covered one more point. Let me also try to show you, because in the managed cost view calculation details, so when I started talking about the cost, this comes to my mind, because whatever we have done the estimation, but you also need to check the realization. See see we have completed the production. So sorry I missed this point, but the point here is, the estimate we have done for 10 quantity, now the realized consumption is for 5. For the 5 quantity, we have consumed 5 meter of fabric, 10 meter of thread, and then 30 buttons we have consumed. And what is the realized cost? So you should be able to know what is the estimate versus realized. So sometimes we may have some variances. So this is the estimation versus realized. So we have actually completed the production. And because why I say this, because we didn't talk about the calculation group and the cost group, cost categories, based on which actually these costs are picked into the production order, which is very very important. So that part we will discuss in our next episode. So this gives a overview about what is the cost price and what is the proposed sales price for this item. So now if I go to the inventory transaction, let me go back. Then if I hit the inventory of the item, you can see the financial cost amount and the cost price of the item is also updated, right? So that's it for today's video. Hope you had a good session today. This is a very important as far as the production order cycle is concerned. Please do make sure that you practice whatever we discussed today, because without practicing, whatever you see in a video will not help you until unless you do your practice. So in the next episode, we will quickly see about the production order costing basics, where we will discuss about the cost group, calculation group, and the cost categories, and how to tag it to your route and the bomb. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel, Sriram Sivashankaran D3 Talks, and if you are using LinkedIn, make sure that you follow my profile. Thank you.